Gigi, I've decided not to leave this town. Maybe I can stay and find some other nice
Welcome back to the YouTube channel. I'm your host, Moises Beauchamp. Welcome you to my world here on YouTube. If you're not already a subscriber, hit that subscribe button, that bell, right there, you are notified whenever we go live or we upload. Today we are talking about these new leads that has been emerging in the Dulce Maria Alavez case. Some new leads, and then there's some cases, some old cases that has been solved that we find that there are a lot of similarities to that. I'm gonna wait for a few of you to get in here. Give me a minute to share that we're on. As you come in, hit that like button and share that we're on. Alright, and we're gonna get started here in just a minute. We're just sharing that we're on. As you come in, hit the like button and share that we're on. Help us out a little bit here. Feel free to communicate in the chat room. Chat room is open. Feel free to holler at us in there. But I'm here with my co-host, Miss Brenda.
Hello, everyone. But while we're here waiting for us to do the sharing, great things had happened within the past couple days. Like Kelly did a billboard for Dulce through her company, Recreations, I believe that the company is called, and they did a billboard in reference to Dulce with the reward on it in Times Square. So that's awesome that actually is happening right now, and that would give a lot of people insight, because especially Times Square, that's a real popular city out there, and hopefully somebody out there would know this said individual. Okay.
Yeah, there's a lot of traffic that comes through New York, so that's a perfect place for some sort of a billboard to spread the awareness of this little girl.
All right, now I'm gonna find out.
But yeah, as you come in, hit that like button.
The article.
She's pulling up the article. I'm gonna go ahead and
Here we go.
hey, what's up, Miss Kelly? How you doing? I'm gonna go ahead and get started. I'm gonna play these clips. I want and press one in the chat room if you guys remember these cases. That I'm gonna play these real short clips of these cases, and in the chat room, press 1 if you guys remember these cases. All right, give me a second real quick while I pull it up. Adjust it a little bit here so you guys can see it real good. 1 second. You like to talk to the people while I adjust this, please?
Yeah, now that Kelly's here. Kelly, I was just talking about your awesome billboard, girl, that you got out there for Dulce through your company. That's awesome. I was so excited to actually see that occur. That will give us great insight. Maybe, like I just said earlier, maybe somebody out there would have had came across this gentleman, since Brooklyn is so heavily populated and there's usually games going on. Maybe somebody remembers him and more leads will start coming in.
Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and play this clip real fast. Let me know in the chat room if you guys remember this case here. Press 1 if you remember this case.
Divine proclamation. I must obey. I take you as my wife.
We're not married. We're not.
You do what I say when I say. You are mine forever.
What's your name?
I am Elizabeth Smart. I am Elizabeth Smart.
Do y'all remember that case? Press 1 in the chat room if you guys remember that case there. The Elizabeth Smart case. How she was, abducted.
Yep. By a religious cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs person. All right. So here's going to be, he did the Elizabeth Smart. Now we're going to check out the other short clip video on the second case that was cited by the FBI in reference to J.C. Dugard.
In June 1991, J.C. Lee Dugard was abducted near her home.
I saw his
Press
door
one if
fly
y'all
open.
remember this
I heard
case.
one scream, and I realized I couldn't catch him.
She spent 18 years living in captivity before being discovered.
The awful things that she had to go through, it's just unbelievable.
A glimpse into a nightmare that could have been prevented.
Everybody failed. There's a lot of what ifs.
Captive for 18 years. The J.C. Lee story. Sunday 8:30 on ABC2.
Does anybody recall seeing that one?
Press 1 in the chat room if y'all remember that one.
We actually watched something on that today. I wasn't too familiar with that until I seen it. That was, that it was cited in the article.
Yeah, that was the first time I seen that movie. We were just going through movies today, and we ran into this movie here. That's the first time I heard of that case there. It's pretty sick. A pedophile. He had these kids in his backyard. I mean, crazy how right in plain sight. You feel me? He had these kids.
Because if you when we watched it earlier, it said they gave him like 60 visits, and none of them went to the back to investigate why on his ankle monitor was he, consistently going to the furthest part of his yard. Obviously it didn't seem too concerning. They just went in and searched the house, but he had them trained not to say nothing and hide really well. He actually that girl, JC, bare 2 children from him. But if we are going to read the article in reference to where we got these 2 cases from, when it was cited by the FBI, but those are 2 bizarre cases, and he cross-references as because they returned, home, and that they were kept out from the public for months, even years. But there's more to them. When you look at them, they also have similar characteristics, like religious and so forth, and wanting like new family and etc. with children. You pulled the article up.
Hey Annie, what's up? Welcome to the channel.
Oh, is she here? Hold on. Hey Annie. Yeah, Sherry's here. All right, so we're gonna just go on ahead and I'm gonna start reading this article. It says FBI leads emerging in Amber Alert probe for 5-year-old New Jersey girl. The FBI says new leads provide hope on the first anniversary of the New Jersey search for missing 5-year-old Dulce Maria Alavez. Here's why. The FBI says new leads have emerged and that the agency is optimistic it would eventually solve that Amber Alert case involving missing 5-year-old Dulce Maria Alavez that has now reached its first anniversary. FBI Special Agent Daniel Gamarant spoke to Patch about how there are leads coming and his agency has pursued them since Dulce's first disappeared on September 16, 2019, even as he suggested that cases like these sometimes can take years to solve. We are still optimistic that Dulce will be found, he said. There's still information coming. We get lots of look-alike leads. Gabriel spoke to Patch to update the public as the probe reaches its first anniversary. Dulce's disappearance from a Christian park has sparked nationwide interest and launched a search that spans several states. Few solid clues have publicly emerged, however, since Dulce went missing while she was playing with her brother and her mother waited in her car. Gabrant noted that the disappearance could bear a resemblance to other well-known cases where the missing person was hidden from the public for a few months or even years. Gabrant cited the 1991 kidnapping of J.C. Duggart when she was 11 years old and who then remained missing until 2009. He also cited the case of Elizabeth Smart, who was kidnapped at 14 and was discovered until 9 months later. In each of these cases, Gabrant said, what we see time and time again is that the community solves it. We solve it, people. And if the community can be cooperative and provide leads, he said, then Dulce will likely be found. Also, in many of these cases, the kidnapper typically knows the kidnapping site and lives in the area of the disappearance. Their understanding of the area, he said, usually helps them plan out the crime before it happens. Gambara believes that what's happened here and that the FBI has established the following from the case. The FBI has video of vehicles in the area, but the quality of the video is not good and the agency has been unable to identify what was there. 2. The FBI knows there were people in the park who could provide useful information and that the agency has made a plea for them to come forward. If you were in the park between 3:30 and 4:30 on September 16, 2019, please contact us, he said. The coronavirus has not likely impacted the investigation, although not having children in school has made it a little bit more difficult to track them. Also, it's harder to recognize children with masks on their face. That's another thing. A March tip involving law enforcement in Austintown, Ohio, who said they conducted a search of an area based on a tip they received, proved to go nowhere. Nothing came out of that, Gabrant said. Gabrant said the FBI also has sought to reassure the immigrant community that the agency is not interested in deporting anybody who may be in the United States illegally. If the FBI or another law enforcement agency approaches them, he said, it's only to get information on Dulce. Their immigration status, he said, is irrelevant. We are interested in one thing, and that's bringing Dulce home, he said. Gabrant also said Dulce's mother and the extended family have been fully cooperative, and he's not interested in judging people's behavior because that often goes nowhere. The family has defended Dulce's mother against criticism that she hasn't appeared to be passionate enough in her public interviews. There is no indication that they're doing anything other than being fully cooperative, he said. Dulce's mother, Noema, defended her behavior in a recent interview with ABC6, saying she loves her daughter. Local authorities, such as Christian Police Chief Michael Gamari and the Cumberland County Prosecutor's Office, also said they're still involved in the probe, even though Dulce has now been missing since September 16, 2019. The National Center for Missing and Exploited Children has sent out coupon booklets nationwide containing a "Have You Seen Me" feature, and the child featured was Dulce. That's amazing. Police officers and local residents have also continued to conduct a community outreach effort in the Bridgeton area to remind everyone that law enforcement is still seeking information that will lead them to those responsible for Dulce's disappearance, according to the Cumberland County Prosecutor's Office. Officers have conducted road canvasses and door-to-door visits. Cumberland County Prosecutor Jennifer Webb McRae has also said the case is active and that the family has been very cooperative as investigators have expanded their efforts. Investigators have searched wooded areas, waterways, and vacant buildings in the Brooklyn area, she said. They have also checked on the status of sex offenders in South Jersey to see if they have any possible connections to the case. Billboards have appeared on highways asking people to call police if they have any sign or any information that could lead to Dulce's discovery.
And now we got a new billboard that just went up in New York.
Yes, in Times Square's Go Kelly. A GoFundMe page was set up to raise money to pay for more billboards in the Brooklyn area. Dulce is a Hispanic girl who is about 3 feet tall, weighing 60 to 70 pounds with brown eyes and brown hair. And this was at the time she could have lost weight or gained weight. She was last seen at Brooklyn Park wearing a yellow shirt with an elephant on it, as well as a black and white pants and white shoes, police said. Detectives said they believe Dulce was taken by a light-skinned Hispanic male, 5 feet 6 inches to 5 feet 8 inches tall, with a thin build, facial acne, no facial hair, and wearing orange sneakers, red pants, and a black shirt at the time. He allegedly led Dulce from the park to a red van with a sliding side door. Anyone with information is asked to contact the New Jersey State Police Missing Persons Unit at 609-882-2000, extension 2857. The Brooklyn Police Department at 856-451-0033, or by calling 911 immediately. Investigators are continuing to analyze information they received along with hundreds of tips that have been collected through the FBI tip line, 1-800-CALL-FBI, and the police department's tip 411 text alerts, prosecutor said. So if you want to remain anonymous, you can also text tip 411, put the subtext Brooklyn, and that's anonymous. You can upload pictures. Here, give me 1 second. Well, this one's kind of further in. This one's a lot more detailed, and it's already what we had already known, so I'm not going to speak about that.
And the reward is
$75,000.
Disregard what the article says. It says $35,000 there, but it's actually 75,000 big ones.
Yep. Now, when he stated these two cases, and he says what we see in each of these cases, like he said, the community solved it, right? That's because they knew, even with Elizabeth Smart, when she was even taken further and further away from her home, still people was coming up to her asking her, are you Elizabeth Smart? Even police officers, but she was trained to say no, because she was trained to say, to believe that he was going to kill, the family and then her, and that they were watching the house, and he really didn't have anybody. It was just him and his wife. And then that's a couple, a man and a woman that is agreeing to your husband doing that to a child. And then how twisted is that? And then the other one with the J.C. Duggar is the same thing. They cross-reference, that has a husband and a wife too. They were married, weren't they?
Yeah,
they was married.
It seems like in that case, law enforcement really failed that little girl, because the man was a known pedophile. He was a sex offender who was registered, and parole officers came to the house periodically and never noticed these kids living in the backyard or wherever he had them living.
He had them in the backyard in that tent, in that shed that was soundproof. That's where they were staying at. Oh, hey, hello, Danielle. How are you? You just just read on this article. I was talking about two cases that seem to be cited by the FBI, saying that they might be hiding Dulce from the public from a few months to a year, but that they still return home. But anyway, with the J.C. Duggar, that was That was horrible because even the neighbor called, but nobody went to the backyard. Nobody went to the backyard. In the documentary that we've seen today, in the movie, 60 times people went over there to search the house and nobody went to the backyard. Nobody. You're right there, and yet nobody went to the back. It's crazy. And that was and he was known to do this before, because his first attack was when the girl was with a 14-year-old girl, and he never actually even went to jail for that crap, nor did he get charged for it. And then he went on and he thought he can get married and change his ways, and apparently he couldn't do none of that. And then he tried to kidnap that one girl, didn't succeed with that. Then he kidnapped the second girl, put her in the storage, and
yeah, they were pretty good movies. If you guys haven't seen the movies, you gotta check them out. Where did we find the movies at?
On YouTube.
Was it YouTube?
Well, the Elizabeth Smart one, we actually found that one on a Tubi.
Tubi, yeah.
For free.
Yeah, we watched that on Tubi.
But the JC one, we found that one on YouTube.
That one might be on YouTube. Yeah, I think it was YouTube that we watched that on. But yeah, when you get some spare time, check it out. It's kind of crazy, when you think about little Dulce, and that she may be going through something similar to that. It's kind of sad, but anything is possible, and we have to be open-minded to the things that to the possibilities.
Yeah, because nothing good comes from when somebody takes you from your natural surroundings. Like, you're never okay until you're actually home. I don't seem to think why people would even think that a child is because some people say, well, maybe she's off better, being wherever she's at now, because the mother and all of this stuff. But nobody's really okay unless you're home. We don't know if she liked it being home or not. And just like everybody says, somebody knows something. There's no way in heck that nobody knows anything. Bridgeton is a high populated area, and that park, 1,100 acres worth of a park, you have a splash pad thingy there for the kids to play with. You have a zoo. They might be lacking some animals in there, but it's still a zoo and it's still open to the community, and it's still free. And you still see people going through there, enjoying themselves with the kids. I mean, I've went already over there a couple times myself. But then you have the football field. Then you have another football field. Then you have 2 sets of basketball courts. You have one brand new set of basketball courts that's right there on Mayor Aikens that was just newly paved a couple days before she went missing. Then you have those new benches that were installed throughout the park as well, like on Piney Point, like those workers when they was working throughout the weekend, building those benches out there for you to sit down and enjoy the view. I mean, a lot of things was going on,
And you're right, Danielle. Not only checking backyards, people can get real creative with their homes and build all kinds of little secret hiding places. It's pretty crazy.
Yep.
I do agree with you on that.
But yeah, you could build anything. I mean, hell, but just know how active that park is. You do a lot of jogging, you do a lot of walking, you do a lot of hiking, canoeing, biking, animal walking, even lover stroll. Even you would take a stroll with your loved one. Let's see what else goes on in there. Fishing too. And like I kept saying from the beginning, You could fish as well, and prime times for fishing in September of last year was between the times from 1 to 4. Do you know somebody that went fishing and they arrived a little bit after 4 o'clock? I mean, you could use fishing as your alibi because prime time fishing at Sunset Lake is between 1 to 4.
You know, as I sit here and think about that Elizabeth Smart movie, if you remember when they was looking for her, I mean, she could literally hear the search parties hollering her name, and she was so frightened that she wouldn't alert them to where she was at, and they were that close that she could hear them.
Yeah. Yep.
So you never know, like, could Dulce be that close?
And she's just afraid to speak. I mean, somebody knows something, and you gotta know that park ain't. You have. That's another thing. Okay. You have to know how the hell to get out that park. No rookie is gonna go to that park and snatch up a kid, because first of all, you would know that if you go out through the front entrance of that park, you're liable to go into a police officer, because they even have a fire station there as well. I mean, you would have gotten caught coming out through that the front way, and then there's the jail is there. There's more cameras out there through the front than what it is to go through the back, like that Cornwell way, the Cornwell Drive, and you could take it. It takes you all the way up there to, if you keep on going straight down, it takes you all the way down to the Walmart. But there's also little side streets that you could take too that'll make you hit 77. Yeah. Oh yeah. See, that was Len Street. See, I told you there was a scent, but that it stopped at the water, and it was on an article. And I know that I took a screenshot of it, but I've been digging for that screenshot for like days now, and I haven't found it yet. But see, somebody else knows that the scent was let. That could have been another
right,
thing.
Yeah, that was a question that I had the other day. Where did the scent end?
At the water.
So I guess it was at the water.
Yeah. What about if they really did take her in a van, but she never made it out of a van? Like out of the park in a van. Maybe like they took her in a little jumbo or a canoe. I mean, and then you can still hide somebody in a canoe. Look, listen. As much as I hated those canoe rides down the Cohansey River, I'm telling you, all somebody has to do is take me and put me on a boat and tell me that you're going to push me over. And a kid at 5 years old, if she didn't really like the swimming, like, you could have told her, I'll push you over. She would fear that she was getting pushed over.
For all we know, they could have just walked with her. I mean, look, thinking back to the Elizabeth Smart's case, I mean, he literally walked with her.
Yeah, he did.
Just walked away with her.
He did. He walked through all those woods. And they stood there for a while. And on top of that, he got arrested twice. He was
mingling right in the same hood.
Yeah.
I mean, he was, had his little beard going and was preaching his version of the word of God. And, I mean, it was pretty crazy. And the thing of it is that he worked for that family. He helped out with the roof or whatever, and got familiar.
Yep. And he was thinking that he was getting away with it because Jesus was sending him angels. And I love me some Jesus, but I'm just saying the way he was using that Jesus was not in his right place. That's not what he's there for. He's not there to guide you to sit here and kidnap children and use them as your wives. That's not what he you just lucky, but then you still got caught. And just like the JC one, remember, he thought that God was sending him angels because he kept getting away with it. So he started turning into some religious cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs type of person.
Yeah, Danielle, that could be a possibility. The dogs could have been picking up a scent from when she was in the park in the past. I mean, that could be a possibility. again, in this case, anything is
Yeah,
possible.
it is, but depending what kind of dog it was, because if it was a dog that can act, there's dogs for everything, okay? And there's dogs that can sniff, like cadaver dogs, a dead body, and then there's some that can sniff you, to see if you was walking. And then there's the Chris Watts. That dog that she had was also trained to smell to see if they was taken out of there with a vehicle. And the dog literally walked the streets all the way until, it found an earring. But she didn't walk out of there. She was driven out of there. Chris Watson, his wife, and his 2 children was driven out of there. But at the same time, the dog didn't automatically just go to the water. It guided them down the like if it knew.
Yeah, it led them.
Yeah, it led them there. Like
it led them, like a trail, I guess.
And then that was
ended
like it.
at the water.
And then that's where the dog stopped, because obviously once you're on water, it damages. There's it taints already, because it's not going to pick up anything else. We try to do them enough. We were trying to do one every day, Annie, but unfortunately with back to school and everything, our hands was tied, and it was just a lot. But
yeah, I'm random. I come on here at random times. My topics are random. I'm just a random type of dude. You have to subscribe and have that bell checked off, like that you're notified when I do come on. That's the best way I could tell you to keep track of when I do come on.
Yeah, there was a.
But I do want to collaborate with you, Miss Annie, and maybe do something together.
Yeah, that'll be awesome. But yeah, it's strange that if you go on to my group too, because I have a group. My group is called Justice for Dulce Maria Alavez. And if you go on there, I've been pulling pictures from the internet, like that involve their searches. And you'll see, kind of where the dog is leading some of the officers, and then you'll see them jumping into the water. They're just not going to jump in the water for no reason. Oh my God, listen. Yeah, everything is so scary. And yeah, she could have been, see, that's the thing, that she frequented that park a lot. Her scent could have been anywhere in that park. And which that would have been understandable, but why would her scent be in the water if they never got in the water? In that part of the water. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah, that's a good question. Why?
It could have been, her scent could have been anywhere. She could have walked. Yeah, it's true. She could have been anywhere in that park. But why was her scent specifically at that part of the river? And knowing that.
And why did it stop there? Like, why didn't it continue, like, further down the river, or across the river? Like, why did it end right at that spot, that particular spot?
Well, Danielle, see, with the Chris Watts thing, the lady who was there, she was speaking about how the scent can sometimes fade. So I would believe that if something was 3 days prior that she visited the park, the scent wouldn't be as strong as the current one, which was the Monday. So it would probably lead the stronger scent versus the more distant scent, because it was, it didn't seem confused and all over the place.
Me personally, I don't know how that works with how they train these bloodhounds or what. I really don't know how that works, but I'm sure that they have some sort of procedure that they go by, and like Brenda said earlier, they got specific dogs for specific types of cases. They may be looking for a person that escaped from jail or something, and you know, they got them type of dogs, and then they got the dogs that just look for dead bodies. You know, so I would imagine that there's different types of training for different types of occasions.
I'm pretty sure they brought a mixture of dogs in there. I mean, because they really don't know what they're looking for. So, you know, there was, I'm pretty sure they brought enough mixtures of, you know, cadaver dogs, air scent dogs, a type of different dogs. But yeah, when we find her, we're all gonna meet up.
It sounds like a good idea. All meet up and have a welcome home party for little Dulce.
Yeah, and let's not forget that tomorrow Jackie's actually having, and it ends at 4. I think Kelly will be there. Kelly's little Billy, her cousin went missing 55 years ago, so I believe she'll be there. Maybe speaking on the behalf on, you know, on someone who can relate with Noema. And then let's not forget that on the 16th, the family is also having a vigil at Dulce's tree between the times from 5 to 7. 5 at night to 7 at night. So if you guys really want to show up and show out in awareness, make sure that you guys go and join them in these vigils and share enough and go there as a community and show this family some love, and hopefully we'll have some good turnouts and people will start sending in some information, because they'll see how the community is standing by finding Dulce, because that's all that's important. Maybe yeah, the hair tie, huh? Maybe there was something thrown. It could have been as small as a hair tie to kind of like throw the scent off. That's interesting. Yeah, I don't think they found a piece of clothes, but I'm not sure how small they would have been looking for a hair tie. But I've always said it. I actually noticed in the video that she had 2 hair ties on. She had the one that was all the way on the top, and then she had one that was just holding the bottom of her ponytail. And I always thought that if she was in a hurry and swapping her ponytail hard enough, she probably could have lost that ponytail, the hair clip. So I thought about that too. Did they find something like that as well? You know, if she was walking? Yeah, that they had her. Yeah, that lady's dog was going crazy inside of his house. It just kept barking everywhere in that house. And I believe that her dog was the cadaver dog, right? I'm not sure what she was, but yeah, it was signaling. And then they brought in another dog because they noticed that there was like a face mask, and the dog was concerned, you know, more interested in what was going on in the basement.
Yeah, but, I wonder why was it that this FBI specialist referenced these 2 cases. Why did he, reference these 2 cases in this article the way he did? Do you think that they believe that Dulce's case is something similar to those cases, the Elizabeth Smart case and the Joyce case?
If you had to break down similarities, not only the part that they returned and that the community helped them solve it, but then there's other similarities that, like I said, they were both religious in their own little way. And then what was the other one? That they both had sex fetishes. One wanted a sex slave, and then the other one, he just wanted 7 children to make, his own. And in both cases also, they had the child believing that nobody wanted them, and then that was like the only family that they had. There's a lot of similarities, and I'm thinking maybe it's the same character, maybe a religious character, man, possibly, that was looking for a child because he was a sex sadist, like the JC Dugard. That's what, you know, he was. Either way, there is similarities in both of them, and not only just what he cited on there, that they returned home no matter whether it was 9 months or 2 decades later, but there was other similarities as well, and which is interesting. And then that's why I wanted to read the article, because when it says it was a crime of opportunity just not too long ago in last week's article, then you get this article that comes out and you actually cited 2 kidnapping cases. And if we had anything to go by with no evidence, we will go by what these 2 cases have in common that could possibly be going on with Dulce. And the only thing that I gathered was that they were both religious based men on their own religion. They both wanted a younger person to be their sex slave or their sex wife or whatever it was that they did. And then they were both, to the day, they go back home to torture whatever child they took. You know, they went back to their place, you know, in front of them, they're all God-ridden people. But then when they went home, there was just a whole total different person. And then that's another thing that I gathered as well, that, you know, not only because they're showing you what they're showing you, you know, is somebody near you acting just a little extra weird and you have your little doubts, maybe something's going on in their home. That's what I gathered from that too, because they were both decent people to the public.
Yeah, because it seems to me like the FBI seemed to think that that Dulce is close by, that she's in this area. You know, from what I gathered from this particular article, you know, they seem to think that she's close by them, you know, referencing these 2 cases, because in both cases they were pretty close, right?
Yeah, they were pretty close. And
you know, they were hidden like in plain sight. And like we said earlier, you know, with this fake demic going on, you know, they got us running around scared, wearing masks and stuff, and you know, it just seems normal to hide your kid's face. And you know, we could be right in front of little Dulce, and she could be afraid to speak out because of the fear that these beasts are putting, you know, instilling into her.
Yeah, that's the crazy part. I'm telling you, you'll never know. And just like they say, the person must have been visiting the park numerous times and knows the park very well. So if you know someone who likes to frequent the park more than normal and seems to have a small obsession with the park, you never know. And this is just per the article, what they say, because it has to be somebody who knows that park. And do you know somebody who used to frequent that park, whether it was jogging or fishing or walking or canoeing or even cleaning up the park, anything that you could recall, and this person no longer does it every day like they used to? You know, watch that person. I mean, what's gonna happen if you call on your friend and you say, oh, okay, I think that so and so might be hiding something, because he used to go to the park a lot, and then now he's just been home and he's just acting a little strange. It's okay. Hey, if the cops go over there and they check on him, they didn't have nothing, you're still looking for a 5-year-old little girl. Well, at the time that she disappeared, she was 5. She's 6 now. So, you know, do you know somebody who likes the park and is always there? And And some of these sketches are not 100% accurate. It could be the person, but maybe some features are on and off about certain things, because maybe acne could say birthmarks. What are those? Any type of that can mean anything. And that's
the sketch to me personally is, the sketch is kind of sketchy, if you get what I mean. The story behind the sketch is just, that we don't know if it came from a little kid or what. They say it came from the girls playing basketball, but it's just so many stories that are behind that sketch. So again, to me, in my opinion, the sketch is kind of sketchy.
Well, 2 of them came out, and that's what bothers me, because in the beginning, the sketch that we was given, the description that we was given, was total left field when the sketch came out, and he even had a whole different type of clothing on. The first one had, I believe it was a black shirt and the red pants.
Miss Annie said that the FBI showed up at the park yesterday and talked to Naoma. And they told her that they were starting from the beginning.
Hey, I agree.
That's a good idea. That's what needs to be done.
I always said that. If you're stuck, start from the beginning.
Yeah, definitely. It needs to be taken back to the beginning and start all over. That's the best thing that they do.
Heck yeah.
All them waterways needs to be checked again. If there's waterways that need to be drained, they need to be drained. Any little crevice and crack, that all needs to be checked.
Yeah, because 9 times out of 10, when people, in certain cases, you're looking for them, just like these 2 cases, right? They're right there. You done already searched that area numerous times, but they return to that same area. And they're either, whether the cops return to that same person's house and it gets checked again and then they're there, or they research the area again and then magically people pop up. That's just...
Yeah, you're right. It could have changed the way her hair looked. But like Danielle says, she does have some... yes, definitely. She do have that. And that's when I see little kids, that's what I be aware is to be alive. And I try to look into their eyes to see if, especially when it looks weird, especially where I'm at here in Millville, you see a lot of weird, strange things that go on.
Yeah, and I believe that the grandmom did an interview not too long ago and said that the FBI brought her 6 pictures, but that it was kind of hard to distinguish if it was Dulce because they had masks on their face. But that's good, because that means people are not stopping whether they have a mask on or not. Just like Danielle said, she has some set of eyes that are different. But yes, let's not forget that tomorrow is a vigil, and Jackie's hosting that, and it would be from 11 in the morning to 4 in the evening. And then they're having another one on September 16th, on the day that she actually went missing, and this one's held by the family, and that's gonna be from the times of 5 p.m. till 7 p.m. And like I said, people need to show up and show out with awareness. Okay, if you guys are feeling some kind of way, please keep that to yourself at home, because you're going there for one thing only.
We're not addressing drama. We left drama.
No,
we left drama way back when. So this is all positivity, and we're all going to show up and to stand, to stand up for little Dulce.
It does look like Enrique Iglesias. It does look like a famous character. When I first seen it, I thought it was Mark Anthony or something. But either way, like I said, some sketches in some cases, and you look at it, you can see the resemblance between the actual person and the sketch that was given. Sometimes some details are off. Maybe whoever gave this sketch, he looked dreamy to that person. And
I mean, but be for real, the sketches came from two young girls from what we're getting, right?
yeah.
So, I mean,
And a month later.
how accurate could that be? I mean,
But look at Mark. Look at Mark Heinblog. They released the sketch of that person a year later. They had the sketch. They didn't release it to a year later when he disappeared.
and then the zits on my man's face, they're like over exaggerated, in my opinion. Look like they're over exaggerated.
But how close do you have to be to see those zits like that and then full of pus? You had to be awfully close. How close was close? Did this person approach you and said something to you like hello and you found them to be weird? Did you pass by them and took a quick glimpse because it was just looking at you weird?
That's what I'm saying. Anybody that was at that park on that particular day, around that time, they really should like step up, holler at the police. You know what I'm saying? If you took any pictures on that day, feel free to share it with the police or FBI, whoever you have to, because they have that trained eye to look for certain things. I mean, you may be holding on to something that's very vital in finding little Dulce. So if you was in that park on that day, and you're an illegal immigrant, they're telling you don't worry. You know what I'm saying? That you're gonna be good. Just show up and you know what I'm saying, do what you would want someone to do for your kid.
Yep. I agree. I'm so excited that they told her they was actually starting from the beginning. I hope it's true that they're starting from the beginning, because I believe that in the beginning, a lot of things. I know that time was of the essence, but it being that a lot of things just didn't fall in place right away. I believe they might have missed something, and in them going back and re-interviewing people, that's gonna be awesome. That's where they're gonna find.
Yeah, well,
something.
here lately, Miss Annie, Telemundo has been doing a lot of interviews with Naoma, and they've been really like spreading the awareness on on the Latin channels. So that's pretty cool. I was happy to see that Naoma was actually involved, and we're seeing more of her than what we did before.
Yeah, they called you. They called you too, Annie. Telemundo called you. They called you too. No, that's exciting. Well, she can't come tomorrow. Well, I'm pretty sure she can't come. She's having her own. These are 2 separate days. But I know she did state that she'll be there on the 16th. But yeah, I believe in the getaway vehicle. I believe that if anything is accurate in this Amber Alert, it has to be the vehicle. Yeah, because the vehicle didn't really change. Like, it just said a red van with a sliding door. The person who actually described it probably didn't know cars. Like me, that's what I would say. It was a red van with a sliding door. But the descriptions, from the first description to the sketch, I believe that that's a little bit, over exaggerated, maybe somewhere around the line.
Right, and then we really don't know about the red van. As far as the Amber Alert, they did away with the red van. But as we know, we seeing pictures of a red van that fit the description, and it seemed like it was in that area. Mm-hmm. But these feds, they're saying that they have a lot of video footage that's in and around the park area. So I'm sure that they're going to they're gonna cover everybody that came in and out of there. And from what we know, they're down to a few dozen that they haven't been able to identify because of whatever the case was, where they couldn't see the tags or whatever.
Yeah, they're starting from the beginning. So if they're starting from the beginning, they're going to put that van right back in there. If you start from the beginning, you're putting back everything that you took out.
Well,
okay.
Well, if there really was a red van, it may not even be a red van. But I believe that by them taking it back to the beginning, we're going to probably get some good information.
Yeah, I agree. I hope so. Taking it back from the beginning, like I said, is the best way to go. And I'm glad that they're starting again to see if new evidence will surface, and maybe when they re-interview people again for like the 50th time, somebody might remember something different. And like I said, there was a lot of things to do that day. If you was in the area and you know somebody who loves to be in that park all the time and has stopped visiting the park or has shown you some strange behavior, just like they're stating, this person would have probably came home with the adrenaline. Unless that person was a calm person that did it and was like flatline and just returned to a normal life, soon after. But I believe that this person maybe went and had some type of adrenaline, and maybe he did something different that struck you and you was like, okay, so why are you doing that? Or why did you say that? Or, why do you have scratches on you? And even that, if your man came home that day, or somebody that came home, came around you and they had scratches on their face, on their arms, on their back, and you're questioning, hey, because I'm pretty sure, kids do put up a fight, and those are things that you have to look up. Or somebody that came to you randomly and said, hey, I have my niece in town, or I have my nephew, because maybe they disguised her and turned her into a boy. Oh, my nephew's in town, or my niece is in town. Do you have something that fits them? I mean, this person literally had to have clothes to change her. Even the retail stores in the Cumberland County area. Did somebody come to your stores on that day, or the day after, or even a week after, and they showed you strange behavior? I mean, a lot of things happen that we don't know that are happening, but it could possibly be, a new lead into them looking into somebody differently. Since everything happens so normal, and that's what we have to look at, the normality of the situation. And I do strongly believe maybe somebody went to the store and got scissors or a hair dye. I mean, it's known to disguise somebody. Once they kidnap them, they disguise them. Because even with the J.C. Dugard and Elizabeth Smart, they were disguised when they were out there in public. So.
Right, yeah, they were disguised, and they were instilled with fear.
Yeah, to even say anything. They're so close, but they're not, they're not saying anything. But so.
And then, we from what the mother says, Dulce wouldn't go with no type of stranger. So, who was this person? Was it somebody that was, close? Well, we know that Dulce frequent the park quite often. Was it somebody that was at the park all the time? You know what I'm saying? If you go to the park a lot, you take your kids to the park or whatever, and you notice that there's someone missing, someone that usually goes to the park and is not there. I mean, it could be that person. You know what I'm saying? Again, anything is possible in this case.
I agree. This person had to have stopped, or this person got even more obsessed with the park. Maybe they're, you can have two different types of behaviors. You can have them retreat back from the park, and they don't want to go to the park for a minute because they know that they're being looked for. And then maybe you have one that just doesn't care. And just like these two cases, they're in the public with these missing people, and they obviously don't care. So,
and then I'm sure by them going back to the beginning, I'm sure that they're gonna re-interview everyone that they already interviewed. And you know, these law enforcement people, they're pretty swifty with their words and how to do the job. So if it was someone that they've already interviewed, you know, they know how to trick them up to get them to give them the information that they want.
Yep. Or did they leave their phone at home that day too? Do you know somebody that you was trying to get in contact with, and they left their phone at home and you couldn't get in contact with them? And then they came and they didn't worry about leaving their phone at home. They just went immediately to the phone. Did they turn on the news? That, you know, types of behaviors. Are they following the case? You know, a lot. But anyway, I want to close out in saying that somebody knows something. So somebody needs to come forward, and somebody needs to encourage their friend if they have information, if they're undocumented and you guys are scared to give any type of information. Find a friend who's willing to give this information for you, because right now it's not really about the money. It's about bringing this little girl home and making an impact for further children that will go missing in the Cumberland County area. So with that being said, I'm actually gonna get off now, and I'm gonna let my husband close out. Thank you guys for tuning in, and don't forget to join tomorrow's vigil from 11 to 4, and then on the 16th from 5 p.m. to 7 p.m. and you guys have a great night.
All right, so you guys already know what to do. You guys know the information, the FBI line to call if you have any information on this case. You know, holler at them, let them know what's up. Keep this little girl in your prayers. Again, tomorrow they got a little something going on at the Bristol Park there at the tree that was dedicated to little Dulce. That's tomorrow at what time?
Between the time from 11 to 4 tomorrow.
And when is the other one?
The other one is on the 16th, the day she actually disappeared, from 5 p.m. to 7 p.m.
And on the 16th, the family will be there. They can't make it to tomorrow's event, but they'll be there on the 16th on the 1-year anniversary. And with that said, my good peoples, thank you for tuning in. Hit that subscribe button if you're not already a subscriber. If you're new to the channel, hit that subscribe button and that bell like that you are notified whenever we go live or upload. Hit that like button on your way out. And you have any topic ideas, feel free to email me or drop it down in the comment section as well. One love, my good peoples. Y'all make it a phenomenal night. Peace.